Hey traders, TG Watkins here. It is June 27th, Friday, when I'm recording this. This is your free video. And just want to let you guys know, I did have my webinar last night. It looks like a lot of people watched it. So down here on the left-hand corner, basically talking about how $46,000 into $719,000 in 30 days, about leverage ETFs, how to use that stuff, and a market update about how we've been navigating this whole market situation with the tariff tantrums and then the rebound and all of that kind of stuff. So go check it out. I think it's pretty interesting. Hey, just wanted to jump in here real quick since I forgot to mention that we are running a really unique special deal on the Moxie trading room. It's going to be a monthly situation, so instead of quarterly, you guys can go month to month. We do have some special classes coming up. We have one special class per month coming up that I want to make sure you guys know about, and that's why we're running the special. In case you guys wanted to come in, it's going to be $197 per month instead of $247, and that way you guys can get access to everything we do in the trading, plus these three learning modules that I have coming up for the next 3 months. On that note, I did want to show you guys a couple screenshots from the webinar that I think are going to be pertinent to you and what's been going on. We know that the whole Israel-Iran situation with the bunker busters, bombs, and all that kind of stuff, pretty wild over the weekend figuring out what was going to be happening. But as we know, the futures, when they opened up Sunday night, they dropped down initially, but got bought right back up. And so I was basically expecting the market to continue to move up because, well, if they didn't fall apart then, it's going to keep going higher. And what I was looking for was confirmation of some sort, and this is what I was talking about in the presentation yesterday, is that on Monday, Iran retaliated with some missiles and whatever, but they were intercepted. And so that was where the market came down pretty hard like this. But this is a 2-minute time frame. Okay, this is the most aggressive buy signal that the Moxie indicator provides for me because I use the 2-minute. That's the smallest time frame. And we got what I call an elf shoe, which is a bottoming pattern. But more specifically, we got a Moxie price trigger on the 2-minute time frame. And I didn't really know the news at the time. The market reacts and then does this, and then you kind of hear about the news. But I saw this, I was like, oh, I think something happened, and I think that looks pretty good. And so what we did is I put out an alert. You can see here, this is West Coast time. I put out I thought I was being aggressive. I actually could have been more aggressive as far as a higher center strike for the butterfly. But this thing is nearly maxed out already, and I was really planning for this for the 3rd of June. So we're just going to hang on to this. It's going to max out at about 150%, and right now we're upwards of like 120%. So it's almost just maxed out, which is fantastic. But we put that trade on here at the very low rebound of the market on Monday after all that news. And so it was really, really quite perfect. So we've been doing pretty well as far as this market and everything. And as far as kind of the overall situation, this is something that I've been talking about in the last few videos that I've made, and that we have been looking for bullish seasonality into the 4th of July. Well, into July, but more specifically 4th of July. And you can see that we've have a seasonality on 2 different ways that we've looked at this. And I even put this out on X. So if you guys want to check me out on X, you can come there. There's my handle. And you can see I even put it out there. Said, hey, we just bought the dip. Just there you go. That was the low. And the market's been on an absolute tear for this entire week. So looking really, really good as far as that. And what I thought is, okay, let's talk about a few things and show you guys what we've been up to. These are kind of the names that I figured we would do. I'll show you a couple good ones that I've already done, and I think one that is working. And then I want to show you, say I have UVIX up here, I want to show you and see what might be happening with that. All right, let's go over to BKSY. I'm sure a lot of people know about this name at this point, but we actually got in right on cue. Okay, I was aware of this name. I had actually started talking about it back here, and then I took an actual trade right there on the 15-minute time frame as that thing was looking great. And you could really just see it had 2 very similar setups. One of them was back in 2024, did a great job, but then the whole tariff tantrum thing kind of got in the way and reset it. So, really, really big reset. And then once again, we caught it right here. Now we're back up. And I think this thing is something like 60% up. Fantastic. And I have been telling my Moxie subscribers, I said, I know it's very extended. I know it's at kind of a double top up here. It certainly could pull back. It can do anything. But I said, this kind of name, I don't really want to try to take profits. I actually want to just add to it. So even if this thing pulls back, chop around, flag, whatever, I'm going to be looking for areas to add to it not take profits, because I think this thing is setting up on a larger time frame. If you look at the monthly and the weekly, this thing's just beginning. And this is also how I feel for most of the market, is that I think we're going to have a good several months, if not a couple years, with this market. You know, the SPX is already breaking out from 6150. And give it enough time, I'm sure it can dip, it can pull back, like whatever. You know, there's just some news today that Trump is kind of poking at Canada again with tariffs and trade deals and whatever. And the market dipped down on that, but then it came right back. So, you know, there's just always going to be something. We know that that's just how things are. But for the most part, I think that the market is well on its way to breaking out and going higher, and that should really carry for quite some time. So something like BKSY, yeah, I'm going to be along for the ride. Also, if you look at Hood, this is another name. Now, we've been trading, speaking of leveraged ETFs, we have been trading the leveraged ETF of Robinhood, which is Robin, and we bought it all the way back down here, and we've been trading it kind of in and around through here, and we're still in it. And I think if you actually look at Robin, from where we got in all the way down here, we are roughly 200, call it 215% up, okay, from our original entry. Now, again, we've taken some profits, we've added back, we've been kind of doing some stuff, but yeah, 215% from our original entry on this ticker, looking absolutely amazing. Now, of course, at some point, I'm sure there's going to be a bigger pullback and all that kind of stuff, but these are the kind of names that you don't want to miss, and this is what's showing the strength of the market. And there are now leveraged ETFs on names like this that we can benefit from 220% trading stock. And some of these leverage ETFs, you can even trade options if you wanted to. So we have that. And then there's TEM. My chart's a little messy on here, but we've been talking about this one quite a bit. But I think this is actually doing very well. I know everyone's getting a little frustrated, and of course that's a good thing, because when people are frustrated or forget about it, that's usually when it moves. But we've had a squeeze back here. We've got a squeeze starting to build. We definitely have a big squeeze here on the hourly chart. But it's been holding up fairly well. I know it hasn't really been going with the market, but I think it's doing its own thing. And for the most part, you can see it is really just holding the daily 21. It looks good to me. I don't see anything wrong with this. And if you look at the channel that I have in through here, so let me kind of bring this up like that. And if you look at the channel, it's been kind of, you know, going back and forth through this channel. Look what it's doing. It's trying to get closer to that channel, and it's doing it with time, not price. You know, it's not moving down, it's moving sideways. So I think it's just biding its time until it can actually get through. And if you look here, it's just knocking on the doors of trying to break out. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. It's really just a matter of when, and I think it should be a fun name. Now, the other thing, as you can see, I had UVIX up there. This is the leveraged ETF of the VIX, and what I'm seeing with this one is I want to see if we get just a little bit more of a pullback in the market Monday, Tuesday. Now, my reason for that, as I've been telling everyone, is that, of course, the market's bullish right now. It's been bullish. And I think that we are probably going to end on a high note on Thursday, the day before 4th of July. You know, it's a half day, you know, rah, rah, go America, you know, everything up. Let's have a fun weekend. But I don't know if they can keep pressing the market higher for the next 3.5 days. Okay. I'm wondering if they're going to have to build in a little bit of room. Like, so bring the market down a little bit, build in some room, and then we can actually go up again into the 4th of July. It's also the end of the month, and I think it's the end of the quarter and on Monday. So, you know, maybe kind of resting a little bit. We'll see. But the reason I'm kind of also thinking about this right now is because if you look at the UVIX, we are sitting on top of the 15-minute 50. Now, I don't think this is going to be a big move or anything. I'm not really looking for anything. I just want to see if we can get a little pop, and then if we can fade back again. And what that would do for the SPX would be a little dip, and then we can go back up, and that would really, I think, refresh things for the 4th of July. Okay, so hope you guys are having a good time. Remember, come on over, check the webinar that I just made, and if you guys remember, actually the biggest thing that I forgot is that we're running a special with the Moxie Room, and it's monthly. It's for $197. We have never run a deal like this before, and I want to make sure that you guys know it and see it and take advantage of this opportunity. Okay, so we'll see you guys in the room out there, and you guys have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Hey, TG here with Simpler Trading. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like or comment below. Also, make sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my market analysis. Or you can join my free newsletter with the link in the description. Good trading, and I'll see you at the next video.